a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Watch for the things that cause alarm, watch for the one that would do you harm. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Please be alert and be aware of all the dangers anywhere. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Stand your ground and speak out loud, let the world know harm's all around. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Danger, danger. Danger, danger. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore.
Good evening and welcome to Danger Aware. I am Ray Howell. I'm the Chief Information Officer and I am currently working on our ZoyZoyHop character. And let's start by saving a new version, version 21. And let's try again. Let's save. There we go. And so we've got version 21 saved. And I've been over this character multiple times in prior videos, so I'm not going to go over her again. This is ZoyZoyHop, and tonight we're going to work on her head tilt and head twist. So there are new tools in Moho to do this, specifically the mesh command or feature. You can take and apply a mesh to an image and then use the mesh to alter what the image looks like and create a head turn out of it. That tool is basically meant for bitmap images. When you have everything as a vector, it's easier to use the built-in tools to accomplish the same thing. It just takes, a little bit of understanding of what you're doing and how to do so. So let's go there now. As you can see, these actions have all been created already and they're hopefully all functional properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the head tilt action. So we select that bone and go to this command here to create a new action. And you can see it's for head up and down. And so now we're in the timeline for the head up and down. The first thing we want to do is bring the lever down, and this will represent the head all the way down. And then we're going to jump to 64, which is what I personally use as a maximum for my control levers here, action bones. Bones which are affecting the character's look and function as opposed to simply moving parts. So 64 will be the head fully tilted up and back, and 0 or 1 will be where the head is tilted all the way forward. So what we do is go into our character here. Let me close up all these hands that I've been working on in the past, and let's see, bottom right arm, bottom left arm, top right arm, and top left arm. So we're going to go into the head, and as you can see, we've got the glasses, left eye, right eye, third eye, nose, mouth, left cheek, right cheek, skull, and left and right antenna. And so all of these are going to come into play as we affect the head. Now, we could take just the head and use the rotate layer tool and just simply tilt it forward, but it makes it look two-dimensional when we do that. So let's go ahead and show you. So we can tilt the head forward, but do you see how it basically just looks like a flat piece of paper being moved towards us and away from us? So while we can tilt the character's head towards and away, it's not a true turn. As you can see, as soon as we hit past that point, we're now rotating the backside, so we're seeing the same image. Plus, if you'll notice, as I'm moving the head, the bone for the face and the bones for the antennae are not moving with the character's parts, which means if we move the character over like this and then go to the main line and try to manipulate the character bones, the antennae are going to go crazy. So they're simply not attached properly at this point. And as you can see, they're not following what I'm actually doing with the bones here. So this one will be closer to what it is because it's not as far away, but as you can see, it's still quite unusable as an animating tool like this. So that is why just using the rotate layer as rotating the entire head or tilting the head is not a good practice. So let's go ahead and delete all that we've done, and the easiest way is simply go back to the main layer and delete the head up and down. That eliminates all the changes we made, and we simply grab this lever again and create the action all over again. So now we're starting fresh for the head up and down action. So now that you understand what the rotate tool does, we will put that to use. So we go into this head, but we actually go to the skull. And so we're going to use this on the skull first to tilt it forward, because we're going to, again, I need to do the bone layer and rotate this bone all the way down to 1, to its lowest position, move it to 64, and move it to its highest position. And why am I using 64? Because if you go to my bone constraints, whoops, I guess again this, well, I shouldn't do it in, well, I can. Alright, so if I go to the bone constraints, to make these star pattern controls, by using -32 and 32, I create a movement barrier with these, and that's what this V shape right now shows you, that prevents me from moving the lever past that point, which means that when I create these star patterns like this for convenience, I don't accidentally end up getting this bone and this bone confused, because they end up being able to overlap each other. By using 64, that's -32 to 32, we can get the full range we need, 64 variations between one point and the next, and still have the control bones and be able to lay them out like this to keep everything in a logical layout very close to the character. And if every character is laid out similarly, it's easier to do the animation because you know exactly what is going to happen with which bone because of where it's placed. This bone is obviously going to affect the legs and the bottom of the body. This one's going to affect the next portion of the body up. This one's going to affect the mouth, which it's directly across from. This is going to affect the eyes, which it's directly across from. This is going to work the head, which it's directly across from. So we could put the head controls down here, but we've already got the phonetic controls here, and it would have pushed us way over here. So it was better to move the head turns up here. So the head tilt and head turn. So there we've got all those things I did while I was explaining all that was happening inside here, and that's not good because now all those things are going to happen. So there, let's take that out, and we're now going to just set it back to 1 and then to 64. And so now you can see all that other stuff is not happening any longer, not affecting anything else. So at 1, we're going to have the head tilted as far forward as possible. So we're going to go down to first the skull. So here is the skull, and that's just basically the round part of the head here. And we are going to use the XY rotation and rotate the skull towards us. Why do we do this? Because it pushes one part away while bringing the other part forward automatically. And when you tilt your head forward, do you only bring it forward and down, or do you or just bring it forward and your chin go back? No, you actually move your head up and down. So we are going to do that as well. So we're going to grab the object of the skull and then shift to hold it in plane, and then bring it down over the chin so we can show that the head is really rotating downward. So now we need to bring the mouth down because you can see that it's way too high in the head. And we do this by layer. So we grab the layer of the mouth because it is a complex object. It has multiple layers. We don't want to have to move each layer one at a time. We want to move the mouth as a whole. So again, we grab the layer for the mouth, we hold shift, and we drag the mouth down to where it should be. Now the cheeks didn't move down, and I'm not sure why, because they are inside the mouth. Oh no, they're not inside the mouth, they're inside the head. Okay, so we need to grab the cheeks and also bring them down. So holding shift with both of them selected here and choosing the layer level, we can use shift and drag them straight down to where they're supposed to be. And we know that this point here is what rides on the corner of the lip. So that's where we put the cheeks. So now we need to bring the nose down. So as you can see, it's off the head at this point. And so we need to bring it down, and we can tilt it forward a bit to give it a little bit of a offsetting towards us. Not much, but just enough to give a slight hint of that happening. Then we need to bring down the third eye the same way. We just grab the layer and bring it down to where it needs to be. And then we do the right eye, holding shift. We drag it down till it's touching right against the nose there, about like that. And then we do the left eye the same way. We bring it down. And we can also rotate these a bit towards us. So pick a, let me do this over. You pick a spot like the center of the top eyelid here and just drag down until you hit the bottom lid. And do the same on the other eye. That way we're rotating them downward the same amount, just right like that. And now we got to bring down the glasses. So again, we grab the layer, we grab the XY rotate and rotate it so that the bottom is going away from us while the top is coming towards us. And we don't want to do it more than we have with the eyes, or not too much more anyway. So now we bring the glasses down and they ride just about like that. Now, because we're trying to get the parallax effect moving towards us, if we bring the glasses down a little bit further, then that gives it the parallax effect of actually being out in front of the eyes. And then we're going to go to the bone layer to move the antennae. And we're going to move them by bone so that the bone stays with them, and after we've manipulated the head, we can still manipulate the antennae. And so this one needs to be in front of the head. And so let's see, that is the left one. Let's move it to right there. And so now we've got the antenna in front of the head a bit, while the other one is still so far behind the head that it will actually just move up a bit. So let's grab the bone for that and move it up. Oh, it is right there. So, well, I thought it was longer than that. So let's go to right there. Let's see how that works. And then at 32, we have to reset everything back to normal. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to grab all these bones. Well, these two bones are the only ones I moved. And just reset them. And we're going to go to the glasses, go to the layer, and reset. And the layers are much like the bones. They've got 3 different features to reset. So we're going to reset the eyes. And don't forget to reset the rotation. And I did forget to do that on the glasses. So reset there. Okay. Then the right eye. We're going to reset the rotation and then the layer. Then the nose, or the third eye. So this is why I say reset is so powerful, because once you've designed your character properly, you can do these smart bone actions and simply reset everything at the center to neutral, and you can affect them with other tools. So here we go. The mouth needs to be put back. So we reset it. And we did not tilt the mouth, although we could have. Reset the cheeks. So with this reset, we're not just setting the position of these items. We're releasing any control in this action from those features. I didn't need to do that. I need to reset the bones here. Oh, the head, the face, the skull. That's what I didn't reset. So let's reset the skull so it's going to come back up, and we're going to reset the rotation and reset the positioning. Just like that. So now we're back to our at rest state. Here's our at rest state. Here's our currently head rotation. I didn't change the nose all the way apparently. So let's go to the nose, check the rotation. There we go. And then make sure I hit all 3 parts for reset. So now we go back to the rest state. So basically when you're at the rest state, you want to see as little change as possible. Now if you'll notice on the eyelashes, when we're not in the when we're in the action, they go to a lighter quality, so they seem to be reducing a bit, but it's simply saving on memory, and it doesn't affect how it will render. It's just how it looks while we're building the action. So now we need to go to 64. And then we're going to tilt the head back, so we go back to the skull, and let's rotate it backwards. So we grab here and move it upward, and that should be about enough. And then we go to the object and hold shift and move it up, because it's tilting the head up and back. Then we're going to go to the mouth and move it by layer. Holding shift, we bring it up. We do the same for each cheek, just bringing it to that center point point, that center point is touching the corner of the mouth. Just like that. And then the nose is going to go up and back, so we're going to push it up and we're going to rotate it away from us a bit. Just like that much. Then the third eye is going to move up by layer. So we hold shift, slide it up to where it belongs. Then the right eye, we're going to rotate it away from us. Again, we're going to grab the bottom of the eyelid and just move till we touch the top of the eyelid. Do the same thing for the other eye. Now they're tilted the same amount or approximately. And then we take the layer on each. Holding shift, we can move it up. And then we do the glasses. Again, we rotate them away from us. And then we grab the layer and move them up the nose. And again, we want a little bit of extra parallax. So we make it like they're moving further than the eyes are. So they're going to move higher on the skull than the eyes. Then with the antennae, we're going to go to the bone layer. And we're going to just drop this one down. Oh, I got both of them. So I'll just drop them both down. But now this one needs to be in the back. There's two ways I can deal with this. I can go in and select the head and enable animated layer sorting. And then that'll actually let me move the antenna around. The thing is, this particular feature only works with one control bone. So if I want to apply the layer sorting with any other bone for any other reason, I'm not going to be able to do that if I apply it with this one. So at this point, I think I'll just take the easy route and I'll just go into that antenna directly and change the base of it. So I can just grab these 2 points right here, hit T, and now I can just move these up so that they're touching the antenna where they should have been, or the head, and so it looks like they've gone behind the head. So we've moved it down already, but now we've brought the bottom up so it looks like it's going behind the head. So there we go. Now we go back to 32 and we want to reset everything. So reset the drawing, then we go into the bones and we reset the bones, and they're already selected. They're the only 2 I messed with. So we're going to reset, reset, and reset. And then let's see, we want to do the eyes and the glasses. So let's go to the glasses first, grab the glasses layer, hit reset, 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 and don't forget to do the reset on the rotation, which I think we've already gotten from the first reset. It still carries through. So yeah, we can see there on the eye, it's already at 0. The right eye already at 0. The third main line. Go to the animation layer. Let's go ahead and clear all animation from the document. So there is no animation happening. There we go. And now we can tilt the head back and forward. Oh yeah, that looks good. I think that gives the nose quite a bit of depth there. So yeah, I like that. So there's our head tilt forward and back. So you see, no mesh needed because we're dealing with vectors. It's very easy to work with each item individually. So now we're going to go to the main line again. We're going to go back to the construction layer, remove all animation, go to layer 0, and choose the head turn button or control and create an action for that. Head left and right. And here we go. Excuse me, I had to take a drink of water. Now, we've got the left and right here. Now, we're not going to go full right turn. We're just going to go like a 3/4 turn each direction. But I noticed that the eyes are looking a little bit different than each other. Let me go back to the main line. And let's see why we're getting... It's not changing here. Oh, let's go to the construction layer. There we go. So there's the at rest. And on one, it's a little sharper. So the left eye. Let's go to the left eye here. Eyelids. And... yeah, see, the one on the right is really rounded, where the one on the left is not. Which one should I go with? I think the left one is the better one. So let's go to the right eyelid up and down. And let's see what's happening here. Yeah, 32, it's just really rounded. So let's go into that right eye and top eyelid. Let's see. Oh, the curve's really wide there. I'll bet you that's, yeah, that's what it is. So we're just going to bring that curve in just a bit. Let's take a look at the other eye, top eyelid. Yeah, it's within, it's actually within the two furthest eyelashes. So let's do that. So we're going to bring it in just a bit more. And this one just a little bit more than the other one. And it looks like we're going to have to fix that eyelash as well. So let's grab these points, hitting T, and just bringing these points to the eyelid edge, just like that. These can go up just a bit. And then these can come down just a bit. So there we go, and now we do the bottom eyelid and eyelash. So let's take a look at the curve here. Again, look how wide that is. I'm sure the other one is going to be just like that. Yep, there we go. And let's fix the bottom eyelash. Just hit T and just bring each of these points in. Yeah, it's tedious, so it's a lot of extra little detail, but in the end it pays off. So that you can, once you've created your character properly, then you can animate it easily, and that's what we're after. It's not about making the character an easy puppet, but making the character an effective puppet. So now, there we go. And let's go ahead and go back to the main line now. And so it looks like our at rest state is the rounded version. And when we go into actually use the eyes is when it goes to the pointed corners. So we'll just leave it with the just like that. I can eventually update either one to the other, either round the eyes off or sharpen the corners on the at rest version. But as long as we're resetting at center, we're fine. It's just once we're in animation, it's going to reset to center. Actually, why isn't it resetting to center? It should be going round, huh? Let's go back in. Eyelids, up and down. Let's go to 32. And I don't think I reset anything. So let's hit reset. Yeah, see there? That's the problem. I haven't hit reset. So this will make it all match the rest state. Oh, I need to select all of those points. So G to grab. Select all of the... Okay, that's not... Okay, just the eyelash needs all of that. Okay. So reset, bottom eyelid, grab everything, and reset. Yeah, it's definitely changing. So now the other eye. Grab, reset, grab, reset, grab, reset, and bottom, grab, and reset. So that should have put it where they're as close to the rest state as possible. But I don't see that big a change. Alright, so let's go back to the main line. Yeah, it's still rounding out on the baseline, but not in the animation. Oh well. I like the pointed ones better anyway, so. And looks like the arms are coming in a bit when we do this as well. So the torso twist. And yeah, I worked on that. So, or the thorax twist. Let's go back to center. Let's select all these bones. Choose to reset all the bones. There we go. And then on the thorax, we want to reset it as well. And grab all of its points to reset it. And then hit reset. There we go. So now let's go back to the main line. Now when we go, there's very little change. So there's some change on the face. So obviously I haven't done the tilt resetting properly yet, or I would not have that much change on the nose. So let's go back into our tilt, head tilt, or head up and down, and go to 32. And we're just going to make sure that I reset everything we worked on for the skull and head and all of that. So here's the skull. We want to reset the layer. Reset the object. And then the right cheek. Reset the object. And reset the layer. Left cheek. Reset. Go to the object. Reset. Mouth. Go to the layer. Reset. To the nose and reset the layer, and reset the object. This is probably where I failed to take care of it. In fact, I'm sure of it now that I'm here. And we'll go reset. There we are. And I think that should do it. Let's double check. Yep, that's fine. So now the main line and switch between, oh, we need to go back to main line, and now we can see that not a lot is changing. So the eyes are still changing a bit, and our phonem wheel is showing up when we're out of the animation group. So I think this will work. So body is being very stable. No changes there to speak of. A little bit on the one hand looks like. Let's see here. What's happening? We got the ball is moving in the palm of the hand a little, and then this hand is getting fat for some reason. I'll worry about that later. Right now we're going to go ahead and do the head turn. So we're going to jump down here to the head turn, left and right. We're going to move the lever all the way left for our lowest number, or position 1, and then jump to 64 and move all the way to the right. So now that we're all the way to the right, we'll start again with the skull, and we're just going to turn it in the rotate XY, so the back goes away from us while the front comes towards us. Again, we're rotating on the neck, so it needs to move away from the neck a bit to the side. And let's take this point right to the center of the stroke of the neck. So when we go back the other way, we'll be going that same amount. And now everything else needs to shift according to the way that looks and the fact that we're rotating away from us. So the cheek here, first we need to move the mouth. So let's grab the mouth and grab its layer. We're going to rotate it away from us just a bit. That shrinks it inward a bit. Then we're going to grab its layer, and holding shift, we're going to move it over, and we're going to move it well past the center because we've got a rounded head. Things are moving. So now we can move the cheeks. We just move them into contact with the mouth, holding shift. Yes, it's not lining up the points to the corner. So now what we need to do is grab both cheeks, and holding Alt, we just shrink them down a little bit and then move them into the right position. Remember, all of this will be reset back to neutral when we do the 32 position. So now we grab the nose and we grab its layer, and we're going to rotate it on the XY plane. And then holding shift, or grabbing the layer, then holding shift, we're just going to move it across to be centered over the mouth as it was originally. So there, we've got it away from us. Now we bring the third eye over. Now the third eye is very small, really not a lot of reason to rotate it, but we can. Just needs to be returned to its position when we're done. So there we go. And then we're going to do the right and left eye. So I'm going to grab them both together and grab this and hold shift and move them to center over the nose. But as you can see, we're no longer matching the nose. So let's bring the closest eye all the way against the nose, and then grab the left eye and move it against the nose, just like that. And we now need to rotate the eyes on the XY plane. So the back's going away from us. Let's try to be consistent here. So I'll start at the center of the pupil and drag over to, no, that's not going to be enough. Let's go to the left of the eyelids where they connect and go all the way to the right. Yeah, I think that'll work. So then the right eye, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to grab at this edge and move across until we're touching the other edge. Just like that. So now the eyes have been tilted. Now we need to do the glasses the same way. So we're going to tilt them in quite a bit, and they're going to be moved out in front of the eyes. So again, we're going to get that parallax, and then let's go ahead and rotate them so that the far side is close to the eye. So that may be a little bit too far. Let's bring it like that. There we go. So now we've got that parallax of the glasses out in front of the head. And now we need to go to the bone layer and transform bones. We're going to move the antennae. Now this one is going to move just to the other side of the nose, and this one's going to move to this side of the nose with the bone. So there we go. Now we've got our head turned. Let's check it back to center. I think that's pretty good turning of the head. So now we go back to 32, which is our center point, and we've got to reset everything we've done. So let's start with the glasses. We reset the rotation and reset any movement. Left eye, reset the rotation, then reset the movement. Right eye, reset the rotation, then reset location. Third eye, same thing. I love the reset feature for action bones. It gives me so much control. Reset the nose and then the rotation and the mouth. And the cheek. And with the cheek, we also want to go into the object and reset it there. Same with the other cheek. And the layer. And I don't think we rotated the cheeks, no. Alright, and then finally the skull. Reset the rotation and reset everything else. So there is our head rotating to the left. Okay, so now we need to duplicate that to the right. So again, we start with the skull. We're going to rotate the head. We rotated it about 14 last time, so there we go, 13.9. There, we'll just type it in. We should probably be just typing it in to begin with, because then we control it exactly. So let's actually do that. Let's see what number we've got here. Oh, the rotation is 2679. So let's go, and is that negative? No. So we need to go negative 2679. So type in minus 26.79. And there's our rotation. So if we do that with everything, we will get an exact match on the other side. So let's see, we did the mouth. Rotation's 2831. So here the rotation needs to be minus 2871. Alright, press enter. And then the cheeks. Oh, I didn't bring it over yet, so we also need to bring the mouth over. So holding shift, we're going to bring it over to be about halfway between the chin and the jaw, and we didn't move the skull. So let's move the skull, holding shift. Remember, we're going to bring that chin point right to the center there. Now that puts our mouth in the center of the head, more or less. And now we can do our cheeks. Let's grab both cheeks and hit Alt. And while holding Alt, we're just going to shrink this. Oops, shrink this a bit. There we go, and now we put them in the right spot. Now we do the nose. Hold shift, bring it on over. We want to rotate it. I didn't check to see how much we rotated the other direction. So let's go look. 3640. So here we go minus 36.4. So now the nose is in the right place. Now we can do the third eye. We'll just grab its layer. That one's easy, it just goes in the center there, so not a big deal. The right eye and the left eye. So on the amount of rotation, it's 39.1. So let's put minus 39.1. And the same with the other eye. And just for good measure, let's go back to this side and look at the left eye. See, it says 29, where the other one says 39. So let's make them the same. So 39.1. So now they're rotated the same amount. And looks like we need to move that eye over a little bit here. So it is on top of the nose. And it should be just the other side of the nose like that. Although tight up against it. And then the one closest to us, there should actually be a little bit of distance, right like that. So now, what is our glasses at? Probably not 39. No, we're at 49. So let's go back to 39.10. So now the glasses are rotated the proper amount. So by using the numbers for our rotation, we can get things more proper. Now we just put the bridge of the glasses on the center of our nose, and the glasses have to be right. So now we go back to this side, and we're going to go to the rotation, and it's going to be minus 39.1 for everything that we rotate. So there's the glasses, there's the left eye, there's the right eye, and the nose. Let's go ahead and make that 39.1. And then we're going to grab the layer and bring it over like this. No, sorry. We want to leave it right there. We want to bring the eyes over. So we bring the right eye over just to right up touch against that. Let's see. You want to hold the shift down to do that too, so it doesn't migrate up or down. So let's put it right up against the nose there. And then the left eye, same thing. We're holding shift, and we can just leave a little bit of a gap on that one. Then on the glasses, we hold shift, bring it to the center of the nose, and then the antennae, grab the transform bone tool, and we move the bone, which moves the antenna with it. And that should do it there. So now, I'm looking at the onion skins. There we go. There's the head turn left and right. Now, one thing I see that's not right is those antennae, because even though we're rotating them properly with the head, appears to be they're moving in about the right spots all the way both directions. They should also be distorting as they move away from us. So what we can do is grab these bones, hit transform bone, and we're going to move them downward like this, and at the same time we're going to straighten each one of them up just a bit. So it looks like the antenna is, whoops, didn't want to get it longer. So the antenna is looking like it's moving in a almost aligned with us. And then of course that means this one would need to bend down more as it comes towards us. And let's give them a little bit more length as it comes towards us. Just a tiny bit all the way through. So now when we rotate the head and we get to 32, we've got to reset all those bones or they don't change. So we'll reset their angle mostly, but we did change a little bit of their length. So there, we got everything reset to 0 or to neutral. So there we go. The antenna looked like it's moving towards us, although this one shouldn't be coming down so much. Let's see. Let's grab just this one. So keep it like that. Should be more up, I think. That's better. Let's go ahead and bring this back down. And now the opposite side, we need to do just the opposite. So let's try this a little easier. Grab all of those, hit T, shrink them down a little bit, and then straighten them up a bit. And the straightening up's not working too good, so just grab B for bone, and then grab each bone and straighten it out. And then this one, of course, gets a little more bent. And there we go. Let's bring these down a little bit. Seem to be a little too tall. There we go. So that looks pretty decent. So let's turn the head. Let's go back to the main line and turn the head using our bone controls. So We go into animation layer, grab the manipulate bone tool, and come in here. And does that look reset? No, it does not. Something is not reset. So we need to go back in. I haven't reset everything apparently. Let's see here. Let's do the nose again. It looks off. So reset. No. Layer. Reset. No. Rotation reset? No. Oh, the skull. We didn't reset the skull. For positioning. Ta-da. Alright, it was just the skull. So, there we go. We go back to the animation layer. Make sure we're on the main line. Go into the animation timeline. Grab the manipulate bone tool. Tilt the head up and down. And turn the head right and left and right. And because I use the numbers to do the tilting and such, the character's head looks like it is actually rotating. So doesn't look like a sheet of paper. It looks like a multiple sheets of paper layered on top of each other. But at least we are getting a bit of parallax. The head's turning on the neck and the up and down. Now using them together is not as effective. Generally when you're going to use them both, you want to keep your motions to minimal changes both directions. You can do it to a certain degree, but if you want the extremes, you should keep the extremes in one direction only. So extreme up and down or extreme left and right, no problem. Both together, you've got a problem. It's just going to make it look silly. So you're going to have to adjust it, and during your animation, do what you can to adjust. So as you can see, with the head down and turned all the way to one direction, the mouth is now leaving the face a bit. So only in one direction, but we can fix all that in animation as we need to if we wanted to do those extreme actions. But if you just keep it to the mid-range, they will work together. So there's our character fully rigged. Got the phonemes going, got the body working. So this character is now ready. Let's go ahead and save it. So this character is now ready to start animating with. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the animation from document. That erases everything. And then save. So what are we going to do next? What we're going to do next is make a bunch of ZoyZoy's relatives. Because this is our main character, yes. But we will probably want to have ZoyZoy's sister or cousin or 10th cousin removed somewhere in a story somewhere. And in order to do that, we're going to want to create something very much like ZoyZoy, but to be definitely different and unique. And so I will teach you on the next one how we can create literally quadrillions, hexillions of characters from a single puppet. There are some caveats to using such character, but we can do it. And that's what I'll cover in the next video. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Remember to visit Danger Aware and donate if you can. We need donations of money, of course, but we also need donations of work. If you're an animator and you can create a small video that helps highlight something about calling out abuse or calling out grooming for abuse, you want to submit it to us, we will put it on our website. And we will give you credit. Although we have no money to buy anything, if you want to put your work out there and try to help change the paradigm of abuse awareness, we're willing to take your work and put it on our website. So if you'd like to do that, just contact us at info@dangeraware.org and send us what you've got. We will try to use it. Thank you for watching. Again, visit dangeraware.org. We have games, contests, comics, and soon we're going to have some cartoons. So this character is going to let us do some cartooning. So you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching.